Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's uh, A&D Mortgage. Sorry, I'm a little caught off guard at the moment. Today's webinar for A&D Mortgage, saying yes to foreign, national, and non-permanent clients. My name is Carl Holman. I am the communications manager here at A&D Mortgage. I'll introduce our speaker in just a minute, but first we'll go through the quick ground rules. For those of you who are joining us on all of our social media platforms, obviously you don't have to worry about your microphones being muted, but we appreciate if you will turn off your cell phones. You can use the comments section on Facebook, LinkedIn, non-QM Exchange, uh, yeah, all three of those, and then it'll aggregate here, and we'll be able to answer the questions live. So with that, I will introduce our speaker today. His name is Mark Glazer. He is one of our top account executives. Mr. Glazer, welcome to today's live stream. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, so let's get into talking about foreign nationals and non-permanent residents today. So I will go ahead and get the presentation pulled back up. So first off, why don't you go ahead and tell people that may not be aware of who we are, a little bit about the company, where we do business.
Okay, so in the vein of foreign nationals, A&D Mortgage is well versed. We have access to our Imperial Fund, who provides us the ability to do foreign nationals all over the world, even in Venezuela, Argentina, and various other countries which most lenders aren't working with at the current time. So we're able to do these. We're able to do them through A&D Mortgage and with the use of the Imperial Fund, where we securitize our own mortgages and provide the availability of loans to you, the brokers.
And for those 3 or 4 countries that you just mentioned, why is it that we can work with them that others can't?
Well, because we recognize that countries which have issues with currencies, we're able to understand that we will just understand that they will have banking relationships outside of those countries. So people, let's say in Venezuela, will have more than likely funds in the United States, in Panama, in Colombia. If you're in Venezuela as well, we don't use the currency there. We'll do a DSCR loan or no income for a Venezuelan. That's an example of what we do with a country like that.
Got it. Okay. Well, outside of our borders, let's talk about where we do business in our borders.
So in our borders, as you could see, we have a large number of area where we could do, if the broker does not have a license, we're running somewhere in the 30 to up states, where if you have an LLC and you're doing a business purpose loan, we could still do a mortgage for a broker that is not licensed in states like that. And foreign national loans we look to as investment business purpose loans.
Okay. And then for those people just who may not know even what we're talking about at the high level, let's go ahead and define what a foreign national or a non-permanent resident are for our viewers.
So foreign nationals have two status types. A foreign national is a true foreign national, whereby they are currently living abroad. They have a passport or a visa, unless they're from a European country, whereby they are part of ESTA, ESTA, Eddie, Sam, Thomas, Alpha, whereby they don't need a visa because they're part of an ESTA country. So they live abroad, such as in the UK, and they don't need a visa, and they could come here under ESTA. Or a foreign national, let's say from Colombia, which would need a visa, such as a B1, B2, or very other recognized visas. The non-perm is somebody who has come here and who has work permits, such as CO8, CO9, C10, and they're actually living and working here. We try to recognize them being here at least 2 or more years working, and a lot of them are on the road to get a green card or a more permanent status.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and give people a bit of an overview of the programs that we do offer for these types of borrowers.
Okay. So a foreign national As you could see in the listing that you have here, the maximum loan to value we do is 70% loan to value, maximum up to 2 million. We permit cash out at 65% loan to value. We do a lot of foreign nationals on our DSCR loan. At 70%, it doesn't even have to debt service. Imagine that. Less than, down to zero. It does not have to be 1-to-1. If you want the rate to be about a quarter point better, we do allow the standard CPA letters, which most lenders do, and it's 2021 year to date, and then you're able to get a little bit of a better rate, but the LTV is still 70% loan to value. We require a bank reference letter with a 2-year relationship, and then a few of the unique things that we do. All of the assets of a foreign national can be overseas. You don't need to bring them here first to stop at a bank and then get moved to a title company. If the foreign national could demonstrate 20% down, example, $200,000 property, putting 20% down, then we permit a gift if you could source and seize at 20% of the borrower's own funds. The non-permanent party, the non-permanent resident, is looked to almost like a party like who lives and works here, which they do, and they're able to do up to 85%, and they're open to all the regular programs that a party who lives and works in the United States, so that they can get a program on a primary residence. Foreign nationals are always investors to us. Non-perms could be primary second home and or investors.
Okay. All right. So let's go do a deeper dive on specifically the foreign national loan types that we offer.
Okay. So a foreign national, again, 70% loan to value, can use the CPA letter with a 43 debt to income ratio. The bank reference letter needs to be a personal bank reference letter. Once again, valid passport and visa, unless they're from an ESTA country. We source and seize in all assets for 60 days. If they choose that the income is not where they want to be, we do the DSCR loan. Again, all loan to values are 70% for foreign nationals. No income, no employment, needs to be on the 1003, but everything else will be required, the reference letter. And generally, we would like the CPA letter to comment on their occupancy. They own a primary residence abroad, and the taxes and insurance. Once again, always 60-day seasoning for assets.
Yeah, and you want to reemphasize again that the assets don't need to be within our borders; they can be offshore.
Absolutely. Assets can be abroad. Once again, always assets can be abroad.
Yeah, I know you always tell me that. All right, and your favorite topic, your favorite person, Ron.
Okay. So, Ron, one unique thing about A&D Mortgage is we permit you to close abroad. That's our Ron program. So you'll close with a laptop computer or whatever you have with a camera with one witness, and all the closing can happen. It does not need an embassy. So the notary will be done online, and once the notary's you're complete with your closing, you wet sign the note and overnight it back to us, and then we fund. Once again, you can close abroad. You do not have to return here for closing, and you do not have to go to an embassy.
So as long as there's some form of notary.
No, the notary is done
Oh,
online with Notary Can.
got it.
It's all online.
All right. So what's the benefit for foreign nationals to do our programs?
So benefits, once again, the ability to do the DSCR loan, the no income foreign national. The no income foreign national where it doesn't have to debt service. We permit at 70% loan to value. The seller could be a developer, it could be a party, and you could go up to 6% seller concessions. Once again, overseas assets are permitted, even business assets. So if we're doing a DSCR loan and you own a business, as long as you get an access letter like you normally would do here in the US, you could use business funds. What's great about the program, it gives you the ability to expand your brokering to parties other than domestic borrowers. We even do condo hotels, 70% loan to value, 1 to 4 units. We do cash out up to 65% loan to value, and we allow you to close in an LLC or a corporation.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, and speaking of that, let's go ahead and talk about that type of scenario specifically.
So, closing in an LLC, we want the articles of incorporation in your operating agreement that demonstrate who owns the property. Also, we require 12 months reserves upon closing. Those reserves could be anywhere in the world, either here in the US or abroad. It could be anywhere, even in a business account with the access letter. Continuing on, if the DSCR is greater than 1, you can have a better rate. We do short-term rental properties such as the ones in Orlando, and we'll do the condo hotels as well. Pretty unique, all at 70% loan to value.
Okay. So, do you want to run through this particular scenario that you provided to me?
Well, basically, what you're showing me is somebody from Italy would provide you a passport and an ESTA registration. They're purchasing a property in Orlando, more than likely a short-term rental community. So it's going to be 70% loan to value. If indeed the property is an established short-term rental, we would even take a 12-month history on your property and use that for the debt service. If not, we would just use a standard 1007 rent schedule, which would then be the sole income on this particular scenario. So pretty much that's what you'd be looking at.
Okay. And 32 days, is that a good closing time?
We
What's
generally close between 30 and 32 days, 35 days, something in that neighborhood. Yes.
good? All right. So, let's go ahead and wrap up what you're thinking.
Okay. So, in general, A&D Mortgage provides you these programs, the 4 national programs. It provides you with the ability to reach out to not just domestic borrowers, but to foreign borrowers as well. Foreign borrowers love to bring their assets here. It's a hedge against their current currency, and it also gives them the ability to own property in and also obtain an income over and above their foreign income. The what we do is we offer you the AD Studio, which gives you the ability in that studio to show the programs that we have and the ability to then put your names on those programs, and you could then send them out to your realtors that you do for national programs and various other programs.
Yeah. And don't forget that we do have the foreign national sample letters on the documents and forms section of the website
As well.
as well.
But
So
it's
that,
always good to talk to your account executive because
Mhm.
every borrower has a little something different and they will walk you through that.
All right. So we will get to the Q&A part. And I did see we had a question come in from a YouTube viewer. Can you refer to the ITIN number and if the current resident can be in US and validity of the visa?
Okay, so currently A&D Mortgage is doing ITIN lending on an exception basis. That's not our standard program.
Is that for people? Yep. Okay. All right. We have
Anybody else with a question?
give it a minute or two. It's sort of still fairly new for folks.
Okay, thoughts, questions?
Well, what are the most common questions that you typically get?
Common questions that we get are A, do we have to open a bank account in the US? The answer is yes, but you don't need to move funds there. The purpose of a US bank account is for auto debit only. Other than that, we get questions about whether they could use gift funds. And yes, we could use gift funds if the borrower has 20% of their own money sourced in season.
Okay.
If the borrower, okay, I'm looking at some of the questions. If the
Yeah,
borrower,
Ariel, I just had a follow-up
yes.
question.
So, yes, we do require an active visa if they're from a country that needs to have a visa.
And are there any countries that we're not allowed to do business with? Other than I know we've mentioned the ESTA a few times.
There's countries that we don't normally that aren't. There are countries out there. Usually, they're the communist countries that we don't do business with,
Hmm.
and countries where there may be issues going on. But for the most part, A&D Mortgage is doing business all over the world right now.
Worldwide.
Yep,
Cool.
worldwide.
All right. All right. Keep the questions coming, folks. Again, we can receive questions from YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, non-QM Exchange. So wherever you're watching us live, go ahead and keep bringing them in. Otherwise, I'll go to the wrap-up section and maybe give people a few more minutes to think of any questions they might have. So I'll just cover that really quickly. Let me put the flag on. All right. So Mark's mentioned a couple of our technology tools that we do to get people to stay engaged with us. So let me go ahead and hold on. Sorry, gotta hide one of the questions from the chat because it's overriding.
Yeah,
There we
we're
go.
looking. Any questions?
There we go. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. All right. Yeah. So as I was saying, so you can price out foreign nationals and the non-permanent residents using our quick pricer tool that's available at admortgage.com. If you haven't used it, it's very intuitive. It's all slider based, so you can just type in numbers and adjust the sliders for LTVs, all your various criteria. There's things built in for prepayment penalties, the various states that have exceptions, and it'll spit back out, an estimated monthly payment, interest rate, so you'll be able to get a good sense for your borrowers. I believe it also includes whether there's lender paid or broker paid compensation. And then we have the appraisal center, which I don't know if that would still be relevant for the national buyers, correct? They'd still need
Right. The appraisal
the
center is
appraisals on it.
once you send your loan in, that's where you would go to order your appraisal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so your brokers can go to the appraisal center, and we have currently over 20 AMCs that are approved and licensed to work with us. So you can order as many appraisals as you like. And then Mark's mentioned 80 Studio, which is our web-based marketing platform. It's very similar in functionality to Canva, if people have used that. Um, so it's pretty straightforward. And as he mentioned, there's flyers for foreign nationals and non-permanent residents, as well as all the other loan programs that we offer here at A&D Mortgage. Um, so you don't
So
have to be
once again, we have a question.
yeah.
So
Let me
Bianca,
pull
the
up.
answer is if the country that they're living in requires a visa, they need to have a visa. It doesn't matter whether they're going to travel here or not.
Okay. And I believe that's the same question. So, okay, sorry. And then back to 80 Studio. So, anyway, I finished covering that part. Something that we've been doing fairly regularly now every Monday. We issue out a video series called A&D Market Digest that's headed up with the head of our capital markets and our securities, and they discuss each week trends that are happening both at the capital market level and within the mortgage industry, things that'll be very pertinent to brokers on a daily basis. So again, we cover key market news. We also give you a calendar of our other upcoming webinars and any trade shows that we might be at. And then you can either subscribe to our email list and get it right to your inbox every Monday, or you can check out our blog or our YouTube channel, and we post them there every Monday as well.
Any other
Just
questions?
hold on, I'll just give everybody a little sample of what it looks like. We're not going to watch the whole thing.
Pretty much that's Alex, and he's the head of our capital markets. As a broker, he would be handling most likely issues with exceptions and you know what's going on in the future for our office.
Yeah. So just a little teaser. So we post those every week, and then of course every week we have our weekly webinars that we're live streaming now on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, non-QM Exchange. So if you're not part of our social media platforms regularly, please make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, or whatever the mechanism it is on that individual platform to follow us. So next week we're going to give you guys a tour of some recent changes we made to our website, and help you find key documents and other areas that might be a little obtuse for people to find, but once they see it, they are have a hallelujah moment. And then the week after, we're going to talk about real estate investment loans. Then the week after, the jumbo and prime jumbo offerings that we have. And then we'll do a deeper dive towards the middle of September on self employed borrowers, because we have a number of alternative income document programs to cover those types of borrowers, in addition to the ones that we've talked about today for, excuse me, for foreign nationals and uh, non-permanent residents. Um, this is recording live to YouTube and Facebook, so it will be available for you to review after we shut down. I'll also put a post up probably within the next 30 minutes with a survey, so our viewers can tell us what they liked and what they saw. And then we will also upload the recording to our blog and our learning center on our website by usually about noon tomorrow. Um, so there's lots of ways that you can see previous webinars and things that we've talked about. And again, as I've indicated earlier, we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. We also have a bot, or a channel on something called Telegram, similar to WhatsApp, but it's a little bit more secure, which is good for this industry since we're transmitting highly sensitive information. And you can get that from Google Play or the App Store. Again, it's called Telegram. Just download it, and then you can subscribe to at 80mortgage_bot. And then you're probably, if you're watching us from non-QM Exchange, then you're aware that we have an exchange out there. But this is a forum group on Facebook of pretty much most of the non-QM lending community. So you can use it as a location to network, um, keep tabs on what competitors are doing, find out more things that are happening with us. You could throw up loan scenarios, and it'll be a little bit of a bidding war, but we are regularly monitoring that and sending those scenarios in. So someone will respond to you usually within 30 minutes of you posting it. And the last thing I would, of course, encourage everyone is, if you're not an existing partner with us, is to become one. And you can do that very simply by going to 80mortgage.com and clicking the become a partner button. And with that, Mark, I don't see any other additional questions have come in from social media. So I think with that, we can probably call it a day. So thank you to all of our viewers. Thank you, Mr. Glazer, for putting together a very informative webinar for us today. And we will close out for the day. So,
Pleasure. Well, any questions out there? If you currently have account executives, please call them with more questions. If you want to become a member, you could reach out, and we're here to help you and to become a part of A&D Mortgage. Thank you.
I'm going to put up your email really quick for people if they want to reach out to you. And there you go. Let me show that. So if you have questions, you can contact Mark at marklaser at 80mortgage.com. If you have scenarios about foreign nationals, you want to pick his brain a little bit, you are welcome to do that. He is one of our most informed and highly responsive account executives, like the rest of our account executives. So with that, thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Take care.